So I finally saw Dune, the movie that's getting all the hype in the world right now. This is the next biggest thing. While yes, I saw it in IMAX, and yes, this movie was huge. Is it worth the hype? I was lucky enough to see this film early, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts right now. Hey everybody, my name is Brandon, aka the BrandoCritic. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate all the support, and I'm sending you all positive vibes your way. But if it's your first time here and you want to see more early movie reviews just like this, hangout live streams where we talk about movies and movie reactions, then this is the place for you. Consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and remember to show some support to my partners at Movie Scene Canada as well. The link will be down below in the description. But today I'm going to tell you my honest, no BS review for Dune and let you know if it's worth a watch. So, we got Dune, directed by Denis Villeneuve, right? My fellow countryman from Canada, up north, of course. And, like, look at this cast, everybody. I'm sure you guys know who's in this movie already, but, like, man, let's read off some of the names. Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Josh Brolin, Oscar Isaac, Jason Momoa, Stellan Skarsgård, Javier Bardem, Dave Bautista, just to name a few. This cast is ginormous. And this is part one to the Dune trilogy. I believe it's a trilogy, but either way, this does feel like a part one to a massive story. But is this film worth a watch? Absolutely, if you get a chance to see it in IMAX. Definitely, if you have the chance to, see it in IMAX. Now, I will let you guys know that I didn't love this movie, right? Like, I hear a lot of hype about this movie and how people are talking about how this is the best film that they've ever seen. I understand the hype because I was really impressed by it, but I didn't love it. But like I said, there are many, many moments in this movie that were like jaw-dropping. Now, if you're an average moviegoer and you wanted to see your typical run-of-the-mill action-adventure sci-fi film that's a thrill a minute, excitement around every corner, then you might be disappointed in this movie. You may think it's a little bit boring because it is a slow burn, but this movie takes its time to establish the story and the atmosphere, and personally, that's why I really enjoyed it. Like I said in the intro, this movie is huge. I love the scale of this film. The shots of the ships going through space, the shots of all the different armies and the planets. This movie feels epic. And when I mean epic, I mean like 10 Commandments level epic. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Throw in some Star Wars and some Avatar in there. This is an epic movie. The story just feels important. And a big part of that is Hans Zimmer's score. Oh my god, it is absolutely wonderful. Now, one of my professors back in film school told me that Denis Villeneuve finds the sound of his movies before he even gets to camera or gets into the look of the movie. I mean, really, after watching this movie, I believe him because all of his movies have great sound design and the scores in all of his movies are very distinct and they fit the movie so perfectly. And this movie, it felt biblical, right? Hans Zimmer did the score for Prince of Egypt way back in '98, and there's a couple moments where I'm like, this sounds very Prince of Egypt-y. And same with the story too. You know, you have Timothée Chalamet's Messiah-like character, like the chosen one. Of course, he's getting premonitions and visions in the desert, and just the music, it feels very biblical. But this movie, you just feel small watching it. You definitely have to take in the scope of everything, and it's just part one. I don't know how many parts there are to this story. I believe that there's 3, but I cannot wait to see more because it feels like a giant epic story. You can't even wrap your head around it. Now, did I fully understand what was happening at all times? I'd be lying to say if I did, you know, to be honest. And I thought about this during the movie. I felt like I was watching a bigger, better version of the Star Wars prequels in terms of how they speak. You know, all the characters are talking about space politics and almost everyone knows what's happening, or at least everyone knows what they're talking about. So there's not many scenes of explaining things to the audience. So I'm like, okay, this planet belongs to these people and they want the spice to get to here and they want that, and then but these people want. It might be a little bit harder for newcomers to fully understand what was happening because I've never read the book and I haven't seen the David Lynch film from the 80s. But the atmosphere and the tone really kept me engaged, even though I was like, okay, I got, okay, that person is, okay, all right, sweet. You know, it wasn't the most comprehensible movie, but I was still able to understand it to the best of my ability, so much so that I'm not like angry at the film where I'm like, okay, what's going on? It didn't lose me. It still had me invested, and I'm like, okay, I want to see more, right? Like, we're not making Guardians of the Galaxy here. We don't need all these characters to be fun and quipping and, you know, making jokes to the audience, right? Like, this isn't a Marvel film. This is a giant space galactic opera. Star Wars for sure. There's a lot of comparisons with the ships and with the fight sequences and just the production design. You know, this movie just looks amazing. Now, Timothée Chalamet, if you guys know me at all, we all have that one actor that we just don't like, and we don't have a reason for it. Timothée Chalamet is that actor for me. Every time I see him in a movie, I'm like, but you know, I can't lie, he's a good actor, and he does a good job in this movie. So much so that he actually won me over. So that's saying something. But the two people that really impressed me the most, Oscar Isaac and Rebecca Ferguson. I think those two characters were the best characters in the movie. They really brought a lot of humanity to the role, especially when you have a lot of people talking about, you know, space politics and planets and different things that we might not really understand. Those two characters were the ones that I was able to identify with the most and really care about what was happening in their stories. And Jason Momoa, the guy is just badass. So is Dune super exciting? Probably not. This is a slow-paced movie, and I felt its length at times, right? This is a very long movie, but just the world that this movie creates, the atmosphere that you get immersed into, that's the reason to watch this movie. It's bigger than anything your brain can really comprehend, and the movie just feels important. You can feel the weight of the story, and I cannot wait to see more. So overall, I'm giving Dune a 4 out of 5. I understand why people are talking about how this is like the next best thing. I totally understand it, right? As a Star Wars fan, I can definitely see the similarities here, and I know what people will say in the comments. Dune came first. Star Wars took a lot of inspiration from Dune. I get it, but I've seen Star Wars, and now I've seen Dune, and I can, you know, make the comparisons, but I definitely want to see more of Dune. So what did you guys think of Dune? Were you guys as impressed as I was? Let me know down in the comment section down below. And of course, guys, hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And again, guys, thank you so much for the support. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.